Okay, well, why don't we start by talking about the fans, because you have a really close connection with them, and a lot of artists don't. And I'm wondering why that's important to you. I think it's great.
I don't know, it feels sort of weird that it wouldn't be important to someone, right? I mean, these are the kids that show up to my shows, that buy my record, that believe in me, that have, been requesting my songs on the radio since the beginning. And so my relationship with them is just because I really am grateful to them and love them for, supporting me all these years. It would feel so wrong to not care or to not stop and sign the autographs and take pictures with them. It feels like I want to.
I think that's so awesome, and I think that's why you're so loved. It just keeps growing because people appreciate that. They really do, and especially because you are a celebrity that has your every move traced, followed, the I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you
I love
until
it.
you love me. Like, you're in the middle of that, right? So does that ever feel like too much to you?
The paparazzi?
The paparazzi and the fans, like your little monsters.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, I knew getting into this business and putting out music that would happen. And there are days where it's more challenging to go out and be alone and have just sort of a quiet night with my family or my friends. But I guess those are the sacrifices that you make when you're a performer. And I love being in show business, and the most important thing to me is making them smile and laugh when I'm on stage, and that's really all I care about. So the other stuff, I just roll with the punches. It's life. You got to take it one day at a time. But my family came, over from Italy 2 generations ago, so I feel very grateful on behalf of like my whole family to have this opportunity in my life to do what I love.
Let's talk about Artpop a little bit. So Born This Way was a lot about self-expression and acceptance. What would you say Artpop is about, and how does it differ from Born This Way?
Well, Artpop is really a celebration of us surviving for the past 5 years. And I was a new artist that a lot of people thought was really weird and very different and shocking, or whatever everyone thinks of what I do sometimes. And then we put out Born This Way, and I made a statement about equality and acceptance and tolerance during a time where I felt that my fans and I were so much alike, and I could really relate to their struggles and their feelings and what they go through as the new young generation, the challenges that they're faced with socially. So I wanted to make a statement about them and for each other, to really cement from then on and forevermore that my heart is always in the right place with my music and my intentions. And so now, with the Jeff Koons sculpture on the cover and this sort of return to electronic music with a love of art and creativity and vision, it's us celebrating where we started and saying we're still here and nobody changed us, and no matter what, I never changed who I was or what people wanted me to change. I just kept being me, and here we are. And now we're a sculpture. Now we're forever.
That relatability goes right into body image issues as well, which I think is important because you've made a lot of statements about that along the way. And I'm wondering if you have a message for your young fans, young girls out there that are really struggling with trying to figure out who they are and who they should be based on what they're seeing.
I would say that it's very challenging, and to know that you're not alone and that everyone feels like you feel, and that's probably the most powerful thing that we can do as women, is share our stories with one another and be supportive. And I just, urge and the hope that all those women in the world, and not women that deal with body image issues as well, can know that life is short, and don't waste as many years as I wasted on feeling sick all the time. It really runs your life, and you should tell somebody, and you should try to fix those problems and get help so that you can be happier sooner. Because I know that it's a real issue. And with the Born This Way Foundation, with my mom, what we've been doing with that foundation is really spreading the word about these issues and seeking to empower young people to share their stories with one another and help one another. It's really not so much about raising money for charity as it is about connecting people through social media and digital media and the internet and the Born Brave bus. These are all the things I was always really passionate about that I now get to do.
Okay, let's talk about SNL on the weekend, because girl, you and R. Kelly were getting down. It was a great performance. I'm a big fan of R. Kelly. I'm a big fan of Gaga. Seeing you two together, though, was something I would not have thought of. So I'm wondering how that happened.
Well, I wrote Do What You Want, and I was working on it with DJ White Shadow, Paul Blair from Chicago. And when I finished the record, I just looked at him and I said, I would really like this song if R. Kelly was on it. I said it's really good, but I really need to call R. Kelly because it is an R&B record, although it's a sort of disco modern version of an R&B love song, but it also has a lot of double meaning about being a public figure and the facing the press and facing scrutiny and criticism, and this is where R. Kelly and I have a lot in common. So we were not afraid to, be vulnerable with one another and put our hearts on a great record together. And I think that the reason that it's been so successful and has been such a pleasure for both of us has been that it's coming from a very real place. But for the both of us, we really like each other, and we really wanted to do this, and it's a real genuine duet and collaboration.
You've said before in the past you're never going to see Gaga walking down the street in shorts and a tank top because you're always living your art. You're an artist, and that lives with you all the time. So I'm just wondering how do you reconcile that with your personal life?
Well, because I'm the same person all the time. I think that there's an assumption that I live like two different lives, but I really don't. It's just this is me. And there's a lot of women that wear wigs every day, and there's a lot of women that wear weaves every day.
I'm one.
Right, and so am I.
I love my weave.
And so am I. So I'm not really different from that many women. I just, I think it was different at the time when I first came out, and now maybe it's not so different anymore because it's not as weird for like a white girl to wear a wig or to be wearing a weave and talking about it. I mean, it's sort of normal now, and it's just, I just love to create things, and I always found a sense of my own confidence and my ability to change the way I look every day. And I know some people might think that that's shallow and fake, but I don't think that at all. I think it's a beautiful way to express your pain so that you don't feel like you can't dress up or you have to, throw a sweatshirt on and be miserable, and maybe, when you're with other people, maybe you don't feel so happy and so full of joy. You feel kind of insecure and small, and try something new. Try a different version of you that feels a little bit stronger. You never know what that is. And I don't mean you have to put a lobster on your head. I just mean, some things work for me. Lobsters work for me, and, a new cardigan might work for you.
Right. Is there anything really regular and mundane that you do that people would think, oh, I never thought Lady Gaga would do that? Like you say, you live your art and you are constantly the same person, but we don't picture you sort of at home reading the New York Times in, an undershirt. Like, is there anything really normal that we'd be surprised at that you do?
I don't know. I mean, I guess my normal is my normal. I don't really see it as not normal. I do read the newspaper. I do lay in bed, and I do wear T-shirts. You've seen me in T-shirts. I think more of the issue is that people still feel like such a sense like they don't really know who I am. And I don't know if you ever will. And I don't know that that's because of me. I think it's because of what other people say about me. And I think it's up to you, if you want to get to know me, to look to find the truth. That's the age that we live in. You have to really look for the artists and care for them. And we live in a time where the artist is harassed, and it's like a media gossip frenzy. It's not at all what it used to be about. So, if you want to know me, maybe you have to dig a little more.
I love the fact that you are making an effort to change for every interview you do today. I think that's beautiful. Where does this inspiration come from, though, to be this constant, like you are leading this whole fashion revolution, and I think a lot of it is about self-expression, and you don't have any boundaries. So where does that come from?
Well, I do have boundaries. I just think my boundaries are maybe different from other people. I don't like to work within boundaries. I like to work without them, and then I impose my boundaries after, if that makes any sense. I like to take it all the way in my head first and then pare it back. But, I don't know. Fashion for me is like I said, it was a way for me to understand myself. And it was always an outlet for me to, engage with my fans. And, just for an interview, I like to just be polite and give each station their own image for the day. Because why not? Because I haven't seen my fans in Canada for a while and I miss them and I want to, make them happy and wear something colorful for them. That's really all that it is.
You've made them very happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.